There's a simple act that has traveled quietly through centuries. 3 small cloves, placed with care, not as a charm, but as a doorway. A doorway to focus, discipline, and the kind of wealth that grows from the inside out. In the temples, we were taught that the smallest actions done with the right mind can shift the course of an entire life. Not because the object holds power, but because the mind holding it becomes unshakable. When you place these cloves in the right spot, you are not calling money to you like a desperate whisper in the wind. You are aligning your body, your speech, and your mind to act in harmony. This is a principle few speak of outside the monastery. Ritual as a mirror for the self. Many believe wealth is only about gain. In the Shaolin path, wealth is a state of readiness. It is the clarity to see opportunity where others see nothing. The patience to wait for the right moment and the discipline to act when the time comes. In this teaching, I will share where to place these 3 cloves, but more importantly, why it matters and the forgotten truths behind such a ritual. You will learn how this small gesture connects to the ancient practice of channeling qi, how it awakens dormant awareness, and how it can quietly shift the rhythm of your days. Stay until the end, because only when the lesson is complete will you understand the true purpose of this act. This is Shaolin Mind. If you seek the kind of wealth that cannot be stolen and the mastery that no one can give or take away, you are in the right place. Subscribe and walk this path with us. Every movement begins in the mind long before it reaches the body. In Shaolin culture, we learned that the hands are not separate from thought, and the steps we take are never without intention. The monks move through the day not as if performing for others, but as if the world itself were a reflection of their inner discipline. Every bow, every sweep of the floor, every subtle adjustment of posture is a ritual, small, precise, deliberate. These rituals are not empty gestures, they are tools to shape the mind. When we place the body in motion with attention, the mind follows. The breath deepens, thoughts sharpen, emotions settle. A simple act, raising the arm, stepping forward, arranging a few objects, becomes a way to align the unseen currents within. This is why Shaolin masters speak of conditioning the mind through physical practice. The body learns focus, patience, and calm before the mind can claim them fully. There is a saying, the hand that acts with clarity calms the heart that trembles. Even the smallest rituals carry weight. Setting a mat, arranging incense, or placing 3 cloves in a specific spot, these are more than habits. They are reminders that life moves fastest when grounded. The mind trained in stillness is not idle. It is aware, it is ready. When a student performs these rituals with care, they cultivate a quiet strength that cannot be rushed. Mental clarity does not come from thinking harder, but from acting intentionally again and again until precision becomes second nature. This is the foundation. Small acts performed with intention are not trivial. They are the roots from which focus grows, from which preparedness blooms. And when the mind and body are aligned in such a way, every choice, every movement, every breath begins to carry the weight of mastery. There is a stillness that exists before any action, a space where time feels stretched and the world softens. When the cloves are placed with full attention, each movement becomes a meditation. Fingers pause, the breath lingers, and the mind steps aside from its usual chatter. This is not superstition. And it is not ritual for ritual's sake. It is training the mind to inhabit the present fully, to witness each moment without distraction, without rush. In the monasteries, we learn that the future does not arrive until the present is held with clarity. A single act done carelessly dissipates energy. The same act done with awareness sharpens it, like a blade polished by patient hands. When placing the cloves, awareness flows through the fingers into intention, connecting the small physical act to the broader currents of your life. Each placement is a conversation between thought and body, teaching the mind how to move with precision and calm. Presence becomes a kind of inner radar. Subtle opportunities, normally invisible amid noise and restlessness, begin to reveal themselves. A path opens, a choice becomes clear. A door that seemed closed hums with possibility. The discipline of being fully here now is not passive. It is active, alert, awake. It trains a subtle power. the ability to recognize patterns, to see what aligns with your true purpose, and to act without hesitation when the moment arrives. This is the essence of mastery: noticing before reacting, moving with intention rather than impulse, and allowing the smallest acts to shape the mind as much as the mind shapes the act. In this quiet attentiveness, the simple placement of cloves transforms into a bridge between ordinary life and deeper awareness. Each breath, each touch, each pause strengthens the skill of living fully, of seeing clearly, and of responding wisely to the currents that shape every moment. 3 is not a number chosen at random. Across centuries and cultures, it carries a quiet power, a sense of balance that the mind instinctively recognizes. In Buddhist thought, 3 often represents the harmony of body, speech, and mind. It reminds us that life is not lived in fragments. To pursue one aspect while neglecting the others is to walk unsteady, like a tree leaning against the wind. True mastery comes when all 3 move together, aligned and strong. When placing 3 cloves, the act mirrors this ancient principle. Each clove is a touch point, a gentle prompt to check in with yourself. Is the body calm and grounded? The posture steady? Are the words you carry through the day honest and measured, without harm or haste? Does the mind hold clarity, free from the noise of scattered thoughts? The ritual becomes a subtle reflection. You are not only planting intention into objects, but also into the very structure of your being. Balance extends beyond the personal. 3 can also represent the cycles of existence: birth, life, and death. Every moment is part of a continuum, and wealth, in its truest sense, is not merely accumulated but experienced and shared. By recognizing the pattern of 3, the mind learns to see life as an interconnected whole. The focus shifts from chasing external gain to cultivating harmony within. This is a discipline rarely taught outside the halls of the monastery. That abundance is not one-sided, that fulfillment arises when body, speech, and mind are in resonance. Through such alignment, the simple act of placing cloves becomes a doorway to greater awareness. Each clove, each breath, each intention resonates with the principle that life is balanced, that wealth is deeper than coin, and that mastery is found in the quiet unification of every part of oneself. There is a current within every person, unseen yet undeniable, a flow that carries life, intention, and momentum. In Shaolin practice, this current is called qi, the subtle energy that moves through the body and mind, connecting thought to action, intention to reality. When ignored, when movements are rushed or distracted, this flow stumbles, blocked by cluttered thoughts or scattered attention. Energy that could build clarity dissipates, and opportunities pass like shadows unnoticed. Mindful rituals, even the smallest, act as keys to unlock this current. Placing the cloves with awareness is not about the cloves themselves. It is about learning to guide qi, to allow it to circulate smoothly without resistance. As hands move deliberately, as breath settles, the body becomes a vessel for alignment. Each motion tunes the mind, each pause restores balance. Energy that once felt trapped begins to circulate, connecting inner intent to outer action. When the channels are clear, the world shifts around you. Decisions feel lighter, perception sharper, and small doors that seemed closed start to open. Shaolin wisdom teaches that inner alignment is the precursor to external change. The ritual does not create wealth directly. It cultivates readiness, focus, and flow, the invisible forces that attract opportunity and allow it to take root. This discipline is quiet but profound. It demands patience, a willingness to move with attention, and a respect for the rhythms of one's own energy. In learning to guide qi through mindful acts, every motion becomes meaningful, every breath a teacher. The simple act of placing cloves transforms into an exercise in mastery, revealing how the body, mind, and energy can harmonize to set the stage for real change, not by force but through presence, balance, and the careful cultivation of one's inner current. The cloves are small, unassuming, yet in their simplicity lies a doorway. The moment your fingers touch them, the act carries more than motion, it carries intention. Each placement is deliberate, a silent affirmation of the life you wish to cultivate. Disciplined, steady, abundant, the spice itself holds no magic. The power flows from the mind, focused and calm, guiding the body in harmony with purpose. In ancient Shaolin practice, objects often serve as anchors for the mind. A bell, a brush, a simple stone. These are not tools for luck, but tools for focus. The cloves are the same. They become a touch point, a physical reminder that your intention is alive, present in every gesture. When you place them carefully, you are training more than your hand. You are training your attention, your patience, your ability to act with clarity rather than impulse. This is subtle work. The world rewards those who move with awareness, who carry their goals quietly, with precision. Discipline is born in repetition, and stillness, calmness grows when action is paired with thought. Abundance emerges when the mind is clear enough to see opportunity and strong enough to act without distraction. The cloves mark the moment where intention becomes tangible, where abstract aspiration meets grounded practice. Each act of placing them is a lesson in presence. It teaches that real power is never in the object, never in the outer form. It lives in the alignment of thought, energy, and action. In that alignment, the small ritual expands, influencing how you carry yourself, how you choose, how you respond. The cloves are a doorway, yes, but the passage opens only to the one who moves with intention, patience, and steady awareness, turning a simple motion into the cultivation of inner mastery. The body speaks a language the mind can only understand through practice. In Shaolin, this truth is woven into every stance, every movement, every breath. The hand that moves deliberately teaches patience. The breath that follows a rhythm teaches presence. The mind that guides both learns focus. When all three act in unison, a rare kind of harmony emerges, one that cannot be rushed or faked. This ritual, placing the cloves with awareness, becomes a quiet school for that harmony. The hand pauses, steady. The breath deepens, calm. The mind observes, intentional. In that moment, the separation between thought and action dissolves. Each movement reflects not just an external gesture, but an internal state. The act itself becomes a mirror, revealing how aligned or misaligned body and mind truly are. In Shaolin wisdom, mastery is never purely mental nor purely physical. The mind alone can plan, but it cannot act with precision if the body is restless. The body alone can move, but without the mind it stumbles blindly. True discipline arises when each informs the other, when intention, energy, and motion converge. That convergence is rare because it demands patience, focus, and a willingness to slow down until every micro-movement carries meaning. The cloves, in their quiet simplicity, become more than an object. They are the test, the teacher, the bridge. Each placement reminds the practitioner to bring attention to the smallest details, to feel the alignment of breath, thought, and motion. In this unity lies subtle power, the kind that shapes perception, sharpens awareness, and strengthens the ability to act with clarity. A single mindful gesture, repeated with discipline, becomes a practice of mastery, revealing the extraordinary potential hidden in ordinary moments. Wealth, in its truest sense, is not measured by gold or possessions. In Buddhist teaching, it is measured by clarity, by the quiet knowing of one's path. By purpose, the steady commitment to live according to values rather than whims. By compassion, the ability to give without expectation, to move through the world with open hands and heart. These are the treasures that endure, that cannot be taken or lost, and they are cultivated quietly, one mindful choice at a time. The ritual of placing cloves is not a spell for riches. It is a reflection of this deeper principle. Each placement is an act of alignment, a deliberate reminder of what matters most. As the hand sets them down, the mind steadies, the breath slows, and the heart turns inward. You are not summoning external gain. You are nurturing the inner conditions that allow abundance to manifest naturally. Discipline, clarity, and intention become the soil from which all forms of prosperity grow. Ancient practitioners understood that external wealth follows internal order. A mind clouded by distraction, greed, or impatience will rarely recognize opportunity, and even less likely will it act wisely when it appears. By focusing fully, by grounding oneself through simple ritual, the channels of awareness open, insight sharpens. Decisions come from a place of balance rather than impulse. In this way, the cloves are more than tokens, they are teachers. They remind you that true abundance is inseparable from mastery of self. When values are aligned, when the mind is steady, and when action flows from clarity and compassion, wealth, both tangible and intangible, follows effortlessly. This is the wisdom that has guided centuries of seekers. Nurture the inner and the outer will respond. Small, intentional acts become the framework for a life rich, not just in possessions, but in presence, understanding, and fulfillment. There is power in choosing to stop, even for a moment, when the world urges haste. To pause, to breathe, to bring full attention to a single action is in itself an act of mastery. Each inhale and exhale draws the mind inward, quieting distraction. Each deliberate movement reminds the body of its purpose. Each commitment, no matter how small, becomes a thread in the fabric of discipline. In this way, a simple ritual, placing cloves, arranging objects, aligning the body and mind, becomes a practice in self-command. Mastery is rarely flashy. It does not demand the applause of others. It grows silently through repeated acts of focused intention. By pausing and engaging fully, the mind begins to recognize patterns. The body learns precision, and the spirit gains steadiness. This is the true foundation of strength, the ability to choose awareness over impulse, focus over scatter, calm over agitation. When that ability takes root, it permeates every choice, every thought, every action. Wealth, in all its forms, is drawn to this mastery. Money without discipline slips away. Ideas without focus scatter into nothing. Physical or mental strength without control turns into frustration or harm. But when mastery is present, each of these currents can be guided, directed, and used with purpose. The act of placing 3 cloves, done with full attention, is a small but potent training in this principle. It teaches that the external gains are secondary, the internal mastery primary. Every pause, every breath, every mindful movement becomes a teacher. The ritual is a mirror, reflecting your capacity to hold presence, to commit, and to act with integrity. By cultivating this inner command, life itself bends toward clarity. Wealth, opportunity, insight, they follow naturally. But the true treasure is the mind that has learned to master itself. Once the cloves are in place, the ritual does not end with action, it moves inward. A pause follows, long enough to feel the stillness settle, to sense the energy you carry in your body and mind. In that quiet, reflection takes root. Thoughts turn to what is present, to what has been earned, learned, and received. Gratitude rises naturally when attention rests on the fullness already around you, not the scarcity imagined or feared. In Shaolin teachings, gratitude is more than courtesy. It is a shift in energy. It aligns the heart with reality, dissolves the restless desire that clouds judgment, and opens channels for clarity and insight. When you hold gratitude, the mind becomes lighter, the body steadier, and even small gestures carry weight. Generosity flows from the same source. To give time, to offer kindness, to share resources without expectation is to mirror the abundance within. Each act of giving extends the inner harmony outward, creating a subtle balance between receiving and contributing. This balance is not merely moral, it is practical. Energy that is held too tightly stagnates. Generosity, like gratitude, sets it moving. The ritual transforms from a private discipline into a living practice of connection. As the mind rests in reflection, awareness expands. You begin to see how internal abundance, patience, clarity, resilience interacts with the world, drawing opportunities, relationships, and insights that mirror your inner state. By pausing and reflecting, the simple act of placing cloves becomes a training in presence, gratitude, and outward flow. It teaches that wealth, in its truest form, is not taken or hoarded, it is harmonized, shared, and multiplied through awareness and intentional action. In this quiet rhythm of reflection and giving, the mind learns a profound truth. Abundance grows not only from what you hold, but from what you recognize and release. Placing 3 cloves is not a spell or a quick fix. It is a quiet practice, a way to train the mind, steady the body, and focus your energy. Each small, mindful action becomes a teacher, shaping clarity, patience, and balance within. When you carry this presence into daily life, opportunities reveal themselves naturally, not because of the cloves, but because your mind has learned to move with intention and calm. This ritual reminds us that true wealth begins inside. Self-mastery comes first, and the rest, whether abundance, insight, or strength, follows naturally. By pausing, reflecting, and acting with awareness, you cultivate a life that is steady, grounded, and open to what truly matters. Take this practice beyond the ritual. Notice your breath, align your intentions, act with care in every small choice. Let each moment be a chance to strengthen your focus, deepen your awareness, and bring harmony to your mind, body, and energy. Thank you for joining us on this path. If this lesson resonates, subscribe to Shaolin Mind and continue walking the way of mindful mastery. Peace, clarity, and abundance are waiting. Start with yourself.